Okay. So we had a day.
We had a day and a half, like as we
from yesterday.
basically always have. We have like,
yeah, no, 12 days in a day.
We're always coming home like, wow, this has been a day. So we just actually had our first tour around the island.
Oh yeah, I was excited to hear about it.
With 4 guests. Actually, 4 of them came. Yeah, one of them is the Australian lady who are gonna work together with. And yeah, it was our test trial. They are beautiful ladies. I mean, we met them on Saturday in Malta, and they are off-road ladies. They actually like go with us when we climb the rocks and stuff.
Nice.
Really good, really good. And yeah, we had a lot of fun, and we had good tours and a very funny ceremony at the end.
Yeah, very funny ceremony.
Or let's say the setting was very funny. Because it was on a car park. Like sort of the last green spot in one of the towns on Gozo. Masalforin is the town, and it's one of the, like, they build a lot here, and they build high up now, and it's like they're going nuts building. It's like they're ruining basically a bit their beautiful islands. So Masalforin is one of those towns where they just go up and up and up and bigger and more, and it's by the sea, so that might be a reason. And yesterday or the day before, we walked past the spot, like we walked down the street. Yeah, yesterday, and I just looked left, and oh, that's nice. There is some greens there. And I think we talked about this. Yeah, there was the Christ and the Buddha. So, all right, in a car park. So today we walked in there. I did give them a warning. I did tell them that the setting is quite peculiar. So we sat down in the middle of this rough car park, right? Not like tarmac and everything nice, rough and sort of rubbish everywhere. And we sit down there, and David starts channeling. Yeah.
Anywhere, right?
Yeah, the Christ, the Buddha, Astraea, and Sanat Kumara.
And I was the one picking up Sanat Kumara with my unicorn. It was so good.
It was crazy.
So much fun.
But good. It was a closing ceremony.
Yeah.
There wasn't much to say, but it was a very dramatic situation. They chose the most splendid location on Gozo to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but then again, I mean, it's like one of them said at the end, the setting, like, you don't need all this stuff, like, and I also just said, yeah, you don't need anything really, just connect to the, like, as long as you don't seal the ground, right, you have contact to the earth, and you have contact to up, you're fine, like, you can do anything anywhere basically. So for that it was good. And they saw things, so
they saw a lot.
Some of them could tune in, and that was good. Yeah.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah.
So
how many were there? How many were there? 3, 4?
4.
4. Nice.
Yeah, one of them being Colleen, who's like gonna, like, she organizes trips, right? She was the one who organized the trip for the ladies, and so yeah. And so it was, she was suspecting that 2 of them would be interested, and the 2 were there, but it was 1 extra there, and she had very special experiences with us. She was talking to the Time Lords, and she had a dream last night with the Time Lords giving her a timeline, basically, when she lived on Gozo before, so 52,000 years before Christ. And
oh, it's profound.
And like, she's really amazing. What I wanted to say is, I invited them. I mean, we see what happens, but I invited them to join the calls, because of course we mentioned the calls, and because we were talking about light language and channeling, and so we'll see.
And I get the calls, if they get more and more people, then it's almost like you can't have everybody talk if you have lots of people on, but certainly
of course
you got to make sure. And if you're going to put them online, right, then So a lot of times what these guys will do is just have, I don't know if you can have like a certain group that talks and then the rest just listen, in Zoom, that's the kind of things we could explore.
Of course,
we'll need to check the technology.
we'll
Yeah.
have to go that way. Like, yeah, we have to set some ground rules if it's getting more and more people. Yeah, that's sure. But that's for sure. Yeah.
That's great though. That's
Yeah.
perfect. Wow. Awesome.
Yeah.
So we started,
So good.
Yeah, we started. It was really good.
and it was a day. So
Yeah.
it took a day to organize.
Wow. Yeah.
The Angelic, right? It was so simple. We just walked in, said, Kevin, how you going? It's good. Got some people coming tomorrow. He's like, all right, how many? What do you want to pay? How much does it cost? Okay, great. I'll see you at 1 o'clock tomorrow.
Mm.
We got a bus, we got a driver, we got picked up at the ferry. It was just all smooth as silk.
Yeah,
Wow.
it was really good.
Yeah, so no effort.
There was only one bump. That was because because the minibuses and everything, they're also used for the school, right? So when we talked to the driver yesterday, he's like, no, lunch is from 1:15 to 3. And David's like, no, lunch is only 1 hour.
We gotta go somewhere else.
And he's like, no, lunch is from 1:15 to 3. And then I'm like, because he always kept mentioning kids, like, and then I got it because I mean, my coffee shop was close to a school, so I sort of know who's driving around the school buses, and I'm like, are you like, you have to pick up the kids from school? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, all right, okay, so then that's the way it is. So we have to work with that then.
Unless you get a bus.
And it was the perfect timing because 1:15 was drop at the restaurant. We had lunch for about an hour, 10 minutes chatting, popped out, went to the car park, did a ceremony, got picked up at 3 o'clock, took them to the ferry to get the 3:45 ferry. So it couldn't have been more perfect.
Yeah, it was really good. Yeah.
So we now have a ceremony car park location. But the Christ and the Buddha come through there. That's it. And this is like profound because the Christ and the Buddha don't come together in many places. But
So do you have
they're there if you need them to be.
you have a roped off parking spot there for Christ and Buddha? Yeah.
We sat in a ring on the floor on the dirt. Yeah.
God.
And I was, of course,
You could put a statue.
Yeah, spray paint a happy face or something.
Yeah, but you won't want it to be too solid. You might, I don't know how you design it in glass.
movable or something, and take it with us and bring it back.
Buddha statue, yeah.
Yeah.
A
Yes,
blow
I
up
was always checking, is there a car coming? Like, is there, yeah. That was funny.
Sort of in the middle of the car. Okay.
Yeah, great.
I guess
but canyon's easy, right? You can do it anywhere.
yes, you can. As long as you're
Channel
good
as
with
you go. I mean, I told her, one of the women was asking, like, how did you channel? When did you discover? And I said, well, it happened during a ceremony. And then I found myself just wandering around life. And it was like my internal dialogue was no longer English. It was like I was talking to myself in a light language, in Atlantean. It was very strange because I pick up a table and it's like, so take the table and stick it over there. But I didn't say it in English. I'd be saying it in the other language. But it's not hard. Like when there's a bridge and it happens, you don't have to try so hard.
Right.
Well, not everyone gets it that easy, but you can get it that easy. So we talked about Astraea, and she'd said there'll be a few of us who'll learn this light language and that will change things. So I told them this as well. So we talked about Astraea. They were writing notes about what we were saying. I mean, we talked about the school. There was like a great deal of interest about the school. We talked about growing up as children and how we didn't understand the grown-up speaking and like, why were you using that language? Because it's so destructive. And some of the others were just like exactly the same experience growing up as children.
That makes sense. Yeah.
And yeah.
And Virginia just had this profound experience yesterday. So we told her to go and visit M. Nidra, and while she was there, just to tune in because she'd seen an image of herself in a previous lifetime. So she went there, she was overwhelmed by the energies, and she had this divine experience of the goddess, Astraea, So she was asking, who's Astraea and where does she come from? And, it's beautiful.
Mhm.
Yeah. Wow. It's gonna be amazing.
I
Oh,
couldn't
it's-
talk. I was so moved to talk about Astraea in someone else's presence who wished to worship her.
Mhm.
Yeah, you started crying.
Yeah, I know.
Mhm.
I was just thinking that there was one thing that Colleen mentioned was growing up with the Catholic Church, and then I was remembering, Sharon, that you wanted to share something about that.
Oh yeah, Greg and I both have experiences with that. I just remember being a little girl going to church, with my mom and my sister, my brothers, and being in there and just listening. And it just didn't ring true for me as a child. And I thought, well, this can't be the truth. This is crazy. Why should you fear anything? It was all really fear-based and very scary for me, even from going to Sunday school and the nuns. And I can remember hearing things like, you're going to burn in hell, and just it was very frightening as a child. So I just kind of didn't accept that as my truth. I continued to go because I had to, but
Yeah.
I just didn't listen to any of it. It just wasn't who I was. I didn't like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I heard someone else once told me about growing up with the Catholic Church is very, very hard, and that sounds
Mhm.
exactly like you just
Yeah.
told us. Yeah, and Colleen was saying something similar, right? It was, I'm not sure, but she said, yeah, she was also questioning it. She was like,
Yeah, questioning.
this is not like, this doesn't make sense. That
Sense.
sort of yeah.
Yeah. Now, there are also some lovely things about it. A lot of the rituals and ceremonies are very comforting to people.
Mhm.
Just, the prayers and just the rituals, just the, cross, and it's all very comforting and often needed,
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course. Belief has its purpose. I mean, for sure.
Yeah.
It gives people something to hold on to, and hope and all that is
Mhm.
yeah, sure. Yeah.
Yeah. It's
So
a good
yeah, it's
start.
learning to question things and know what's true in your heart, know what's makes sense to you.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just that the church as such is like, yeah, for me the problem for sure, because it's it gives it a box and a structure and
Mhm.
weird rules that are all like, that's not it.
Mhm.
Like it's good to comfort people, it's good to give them hope, and it's good to have
Mhm.
like these rituals with praying and blessing food and all that, and that's wonderful, right?
Mhm.
But no, don't do that.
No,
Mhm.
it's limiting. Yeah, you got to go to a priest in order to get to God, right? You can't go there direct, and then, you got to go to us. We're no, you're not. You don't have
The
really any.
middleman.
I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, I was like, no, this doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. And I both questioners. I questioned everything. Like I would question my dad, who was a lay minister in the church, and I would ask him things, and he'd go, I don't know. I go, well, who does know? I mean, I like to know these things. He goes, well, I don't know. Just following along like a, I don't know, like a sheep. Say that, but you just follow because you
Yeah.
don't know any better. You don't question. You don't think. You don't go, well, I don't think this makes any sense. Much
Mhm.
sense anyway. Yeah, it's good stuff. Right on, Sharon.
I was
Mhm.
more of a sheep. So I didn't have a Catholic. Mine was a Protestant, proper Protestant. We had church ministers.
Proper.
We still do have church ministers in the family.
Yeah,
And
okay.
I just like, it wasn't in my family, like speaking out it wasn't really recommended as a thing to do. So I didn't challenge, and I learned to be
Mhm.
silent.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I
And
didn't
I
really
did.
agree, but I didn't say anything.
Yeah. And I
Yeah, I
didn't really.
didn't either. I didn't
Right.
either. I just had my own internal conversations.
Yeah. Yeah.
Greg, of course, he ran up to his dad.
His
Well, no,
dad, can you imagine? He must have driven his parents nuts with
yeah,
questions.
yeah. I learned that it wasn't really working very much. So they wouldn't answer many questions. So then I learned,
Yeah.
well, I'll have to find them other places, or they don't really know a whole lot. yeah, so it's okay.
Yeah.
And yeah, I didn't ask a lot of people, but I did question things internally, and I would try to find things out for myself, look for things. And I wasn't very outspoken, really. I mean, I might be now, but I really wasn't. Sharon wasn't. We were kind of,
No, I do remember asking my mom thousands of questions, and she just after a while just became very frustrated with me. I remember that.
yeah.
So I figured, okay, I just have to find my own answers.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, okay.
So we're tired.
Yeah,
Okay.
I bet you are. You had a wonderful day, though. But
definitely.
Yeah.
It was really beautiful, and they
You
had a
need to
lot of
rest,
fun,
yeah.
and yeah, it was really good. Yeah,
Yeah.
Hmm.
it was a good start
Mm,
into our new venture here. Yeah, yeah,
mm.
yeah.
It's good news.
Hmm.
Mhm.
So, do we have some information, David, or
We do.
anybody?
Oh.
We
Yeah,
do.
we do have information. We do have the Book of Life. Would you like a page?
Sure.
Yeah. There's one fluttering each of your ways.
Mhm.
Okay.
I don't know
Take
how
my
to
glasses.
I don't know how to interpret those, but I leave that to your intuition.
What happened, Sharon?
I don't know, some loud bang upstairs. It must be one of my cats doing something.
Yeah, on the counter.
Just
Yeah.
ran into the book.
Something fell. That's
Probably
okay.
just finding a place on the shelf.
Mm. Yeah. Okay, Book of Life.
So that may not be for right now. But there is a page for each of you.
So I was going to ask a question, if I can. Like you mentioned something for me, and maybe Sharon too. Mentally, I seem to be still blocked, or
So can I just like check the wording?
keep going. Yes.
Yeah, because there's judgment and hate in that sentence.
Okay.
I know there's strong words.
All right. Sure.
But it's like it's not free flowing language or so we are at the stage we are. We're not above the stage we're at, and we're not beneath that stage. So we're just there. And then there's some mental acuity required to so I'm trying to interpret what they're saying, to replace the thoughts that you're currently having with some more positive versions of you of yourself.
Yeah.
So you may be looking at yourself negatively in some aspects of your life.
Mm. Yes, that's definitely some. Yeah.
So it's not like a judgment, it's not
No.
a block, like it's just a misassumption. Misassumption is, I really like that word. I made a misassumption. I thought the Catholic Church was really rather wonderful. I put my life into it, full steam ahead. And then I was what was I? I didn't know what I was looking at, But I lived my life like from that misassumption. And then all these tragedies and terrible events occurred, and I couldn't quite work out and get to grips with life. So that wouldn't be something to make oneself wrong about. That would there may be some forgiveness and letting go. And I had a misassumption. I thought I was an idiot. Or people at school used to tell me I wasn't very good at maths. And I believe that misassumption.
Yeah.
So there's just forgiveness and letting go and grieving and sadness, but we don't want to be like storming in there and
No.
blocks, and we need to, yeah.
I just have the feeling that, to clarify where that comes from, it's this still. You said there is still something with the mind
Mhm.
Seems
And
to be.
this like imagine your fear comes in, and to say to it, are you still here? It's not helping at all. If you yeah, maybe that, you know what, I just thought it, yeah, that's the hate, sort of, that's the violence in the with that word, are you still here? It's like, yeah, well, I mean, and it's not that's not very,
Well,
it's not gentle, and it's not loving.
well, let me just explain.
Mhm.
So, because I've worked on a lot of mental issues and physical issues and etheric issues, and the only reason I'm saying, okay, I've worked on this, and I know that it's continued to be worked on, things that need to be undone, released, let go, new thinking coming in. I understand all that mentally, but I was moving in and seeing darkness, so I was just seeing that, sensing that, but I wasn't getting a lot of emotion around it. But there is emotion there, and so I'm trying to allow that to come up, or letting it come up, moving into what is that. Yeah, so I'm okay with
I
what
know
you're
you
saying.
are.
Yeah, it's just I'm not sensing that at this moment, what you're saying. So I'm just asking, yeah, if there's that, okay, right? I sense, for me, it's like tension and tightness, and so yes, it's also could be stuff I don't want to see, like things that were really bad that I didn't want to see. And I know this, and I know I've seen things I don't want to see, and I've worked through things that are right hard to see, but then they become, oh, okay, it's just that. It's not that big a deal. It's just right. Whatever it was, it is, and just let go of that. So as I say that, I can feel things letting go, right? If we speak through it, move through it, sometimes it's different ways to release this stuff, right? Each person has a way, and then we get messages, right? You guys get some from me, a word. Sharon usually has like a word or something. I'll go, oh, okay, yeah, that's what I needed here. Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then things start to release.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And they're starting as more.
When you mentioned that with the tension and the black stuff, I just saw like a parcel, sort of black, but like wrapped up tightly, like that. It's not square. It's really like this. It's squished, so very, there's a lot in there, but it's packed well, right? So, and it has a red ribbon, like, as tied around it. That's the love. So I guess it was all done for self-protection, as we do.
Yes.
For example, when we grow up, and yeah, that's what comes. And yeah, you can just carefully like release that, and like start giving it space, and I mean, of course you can handle all that, and yeah.
Yeah, good to hear though. I definitely need help sometime. We all need a little help.
Yeah, sure.
That's it.
Definitely.
Thank
It's no
you.
different here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel that. Releasing.
So I don't have words around that. And there's no channel or around that specifically. It's just tension.
Yeah.
And there is white light underneath the darkness.
Inside the package. I think I was the one channeling around this
Hmm.
just now.
Yeah, I feel it. I mean, I feel it moving, releasing, opening up. And it may take a little bit of time, it seems like, to kind of move through this. So it's happening.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, you can look at self-protective mechanisms that you might have put in place when you were younger. I mean, we came from growing up with the church and everything, and I like, for me, I figure it's some, okay, the number I get is 14. I don't know what, right, but what happened, or but there was maybe something, and then you just put it all in the box and
Well, and I will say,
fear or stuff.
so, I mean, a lot of my remembrances of things that I don't remember, and I don't know if this is one of them, but being interacting with ETs.
Yeah, that's also, yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. So I don't know if you guys have any experiences with that, but I have a lot of experiences, and some weren't so good. And so I'm not sure. They were definitely pushing me in a certain direction. Whether they were perceived as, to me, as dark or light,
Mhm.
mostly to me they were perceived as dark, but they were pushing me into the light by giving me things that were not comfortable, to move me out of that uncomfortable, numb space, which I was kind of into a more open space, making different decisions. So yeah, I don't look at them as necessarily dark, but they were not. That's a very loving, although they said they were, and they were trying to be loving, but not so. More bringing information to me that was challenging my belief systems, and yeah, showing me.
It definitely makes sense. That's what I got too. And you were speaking about abduction once, right?
Yeah, certainly. Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess it's all connected to those experiences, and
Yeah.
and I mean, yeah, it's normal that, yeah.
So there may be others that listen to this that have, right, abduction experiences or anomalous or other experiences they can't explain, that may be holding them back, which did for me. So
Yeah. Yeah.
definitely took a long time working on that.
Yeah.
For some years to clear myself of a lot of that old belief systems. Yeah.
Yeah.
So pretty much, yeah, I mean, pretty much worked on it for like 7 years, basically, or more, to clear a lot of that. And it's still going on. So, right. It's okay. Yeah. So wherever you are, and whatever work you need to do, you do it.
Exactly.
It's okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And accept and love yourself.
Accept and love yourself through it. Yeah. Right. Because we're all at kind of different levels and different understanding. And sometimes we get something, and then sometimes it's dark, and yeah, you got to work through that, feel the emotion we talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Feel better.
There is something about it.
Yeah.
Like you're returning to it with enough light to dissolve it.
Yeah.
So
yeah, with your help.
So that fear that remains was in place for a reason. And it's probably located like, somewhere in here between your ears. And I don't know how to explain it, but like now your soul merge has happened and all this energy is coming through from your oversoul. It's like there's enough light to clear that channel. Like whatever got frozen, shut down, that can be opened because you've got enough trust now in the universe.
Yeah.
And in your power to deal with the situation.
Yeah.
Which as a child, you wouldn't have had that option.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
So you have the trust and the strength and the capacity to deal with that.
Yeah.
And I can see the light. So it's curious, at the start of the call, I was just almost like called, like, what's happening with Greg? And there was just this massive light, like from your legs, like right down in the earth. It's huge light, which I don't always see, but not with anybody.
Okay. Yeah, and I don't really know. I mean, it's interesting to hear feedback because I don't always really know what's going on with me. I'm just, okay, I'm just doing this. I don't know. Okay. But I do sense what you're saying here in between the ears and this space, the legs and other, yeah, okay. Yeah.
Since we started talking about it, about the parcel and all, I said like it's becoming lighter already, sort of from the middle. There is like a little light that's so things are it's moving. And I was just thinking it has like, yeah, when David said like as a child you wouldn't have been able to cope with that, that is also connected to loneliness, right? I mean, that is something like experiences like that make you very like, yeah, lonely because you don't know who to talk to and everybody just does like this and what's wrong with you and whatever, and it just gets worse, like you have a terrible experience and then you try to talk to someone and it just gets worse, so it's very,
that's true.
Yeah,
I've had some similar experiences with abduction, and I don't have a lot of memories of it, but I have a couple of very vivid memories of being taken as a child. And I just kind of, if I'm in meditation and something comes up, or if I'm with Greg and something comes up, we just work through it. But I think overall, it's helped me to be like a really strong person in this life. Really has strengthened me. So I always kind of look at these experiences as learning and growing.
of course, yeah.
But I'm the kind of person, I don't know where I got this from, but when I came into this, on this earth, I always had a very positive outlook. And what you were saying too earlier about talking to somebody, like I tried to talk to my sister about experience and nobody really believed me. So I just shut down and didn't say anything.
Yeah.
And yeah, but I don't have a lot of memories. Like Greg's got a lot more memories of things. I don't really think it's necessary for me to know. If it comes up, and I go through it and I deal with it.
Yeah.
And release.
Yeah, I mean that's also like, we don't always need to know what exactly happened. It's like that's where we all different. Like someone like whatever, for Greg it has a reason that he needs to know. Like he knows certain things and you just don't, and that's fine.
Yeah.
Like it's all. I mean, you can ask like, is it
And
necessary?
sometimes I know. Yeah, sometimes it comes to me. Yeah.
Is it necessary to know more? Like whatever it is, but then again, it doesn't. Yeah, doesn't necessarily have to be that way. And of course, like all our past experiences brought us here, right? So it's all there. It's all there to honor, and like it's all our path, and it was all our choice, and it's all what we learned, and it's all goodies. Yeah, in the end.
That
It
is
is all goodies.
That is the peculiar thing, that we chose this life.
Yeah.
So there's always a message in the fear, in the dark.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just keeps getting bigger, but easier. Like there's a mammoth task as a human. There is a fear to face, which when finally faced does the human phase. So all the human fears get down to a bottom. There is a bottom to the human, all the fears, but not everyone faces it. But until you do, you can't transcend human. So that's one of the things I did. Like after Gren fell in the tragedy and 72 people died in one night, and I had to face all my fears over 3, 4, 5 years. And I got to a bottom. There was one fear, a lifetime, where I cut out hearts from babies. I did not want to face that. It was demonic plague of horribleness that I can't even describe in words. And I was terrified. I was living in terror of a spirit that tormented us all. And I can't really recall more, but I just know that terror is so real until faced. And I took
Yeah.
responsibility, like that happened.
Mm.
Yeah.
And then it got easier. Nothing else was as terrifying.
Yeah.
It's having that strength to even just look at it, to, to face it, to move through it. That takes a lot.
Yeah, we were talking about that today. This takes courage, because you gotta go through the shit, excuse my language.
Mhm.
And yeah, some people just don't want to, so
No,
they
we've
can.
always joked about it. Greg and I have always joked about it, that some people will run for the hills because they don't want to do it.
They don't want to do it, right? So you
Like,
can't
what? I
make them.
thought this was just meditation.
Just
Right,
happy
they're-
thoughts.
Right. What
Stay
about these
positive.
other? Yeah. Well, yeah, you want to stay positive, but negative stuff might come up,
Yeah,
and then you have to deal with that.
yeah,
It might be,
yeah,
processing some serious emotions.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and taking responsibility for all of it, and that's what, yeah, that's what frees you. Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah,
And that's what we want to get across. I mean, it's a lot of people don't want to do that. They want to present it that way, but there's more and more people doing that, right? The negative's going to come up as you deepen your meditation practices or your inner work, your inner reflection
yeah,
from others that are in the light. They reflect the light in you, and then you'll see your darkness that needs to come out and come up and release. And yeah,
Yeah.
you guys do that so well.
yeah.
Mhm.
Thank you.
It's terrifying to do it. So I'm still like, my body's, it's like partly frozen, partly palpitating. Can't even talk about it. Just telling you that experience,
Right.
Mhm.
That's
just to release that, right?
Mhm.
And the thing that I see is, like, for myself, at the very least, no one does that unless they're living in terror.
Mhm. Yes.
right. So that's honor you for speaking about that.
Yeah.
And
No one does the worst things that humanity does unless they're in terror
Yeah,
yeah,
that makes
terrifying.
sense.
or completely disconnected.
Mhm.
But then they've experienced the worst terror, because what
Otherwise,
else
yeah.
would you have
They're
disconnected?
disconnected.
Which is what we're dealing with on the planet, right? A lot of people are disconnected and terrified and don't know how to get out of their hole.
Yeah.
And that's where compassion lies. The deepest terror, and allowing people to feel that.
And also letting them know it doesn't matter where you are in your deep terror, you can get out of it. It's
Mhm.
okay. There is work to be done, but no one is not going to be able to get out of it if they really want to.
Yeah.
That's so important.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Mhm.
If you
That's
really
for
want to get out,
Yeah.
you can make progress. And a lot of progress in this lifetime is a lot of progress can be made.
Yeah.
Many lifetimes in the past it would have taken in order to live this life, work on it. People need to know that this is perfect. Work on yourself, work on the stuff that's inside you, because you can make so much progress. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Yeah.
It's getting
Mhm.
easier, and the light is here, the divine is here.
Yeah.
And so while you're here, work on it. Do
It's
do
so
this.
worth it.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Isn't it
I
worth
say-
it? Because you come out feeling so much better.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and you're able to move into the divine and to accept the love and be in flow, right? I mean, then you're truly supported and held always, and all that when you open up and yeah, go through it. And yeah, it's really beautiful here.
Mm,
Mhm.
yeah, you
Yeah.
guys are right. Yeah.
So I'm feeling particularly awful, because I'm just like reconsidering that experience and trying to find words to like my fear of losing my sense of sourceness, being connected to the divine. So, like, underneath all the terrors, there's a similar theme that keeps going back. You just keep tracing it back, keep tracing it back. They're all so similar.
Mm.
And there are threads and strands, and there's control, and I haven't got time to do the number. There might be 3 threads, but you come back to one. And I think, like, for most people, and I should link it to Mahatma and what he writes about. It's that terror of separation from source.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Right.
You know, I lost myself, and I might never return to that place, that beauty, that love.
Yeah.
And I did the worst thing imaginable, and I'm still here, and I'm still love.
Yeah.
And I can be loved,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and I can forgive, and I can have compassion for myself and for others.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, thank you for that. Because I think, I mean, as a being of source wanted to experience the lowest lows and the highest highs. I mean, and we want to go there, want to experience what is it like to be that disconnected, totally lost. Can you come back from that? Yeah, we have. We are doing that, and showing others, you know, we're vulnerable that way too. We're not. Made a lot of progress, but it's a lot of work, and it's good work, divine work.
So thank you for voicing your concern and what you're thinking, Greg.
Yeah, no problem. I mean, I have stuff like that too, where I know in way in the past, I think I was very dark because I thought that was the way to be, because I didn't know any other way, and seemed like I would be a part of like enslaving worlds, because that's what the groups that I was in would enslave worlds. And then I was going, well, this isn't right, but I don't know how to not do it because I'm in this group that's doing this. It's very problematic for me.
Yeah.
So then when I try to get
Where's
out,
the alternative?
well, if I tried to say anything, I would just get killed. They would just say, okay, you're not on board. All right, you're done. And then I would come back and just redo that. And I go, well, how do I get off this bad merry-go-round? It's, it's like, which is kind of what we're in the earth, right? We're getting off the merry-go-round of suffering and problems and issues. And if you want to we need everybody to get off the merry-go-round, right? Get off that. Keep repeating the old patterns, right?
Yeah.
Gotta see them, gotta work through them, gotta let go of them. Wherever they are in your life or past lives, it doesn't matter. But as you know, they'll come up, whether you want them to or not, or if you know that's what they are. Some people don't need to experience their past lives, but some do. Some can work through it maybe in this life. Everything comes up in your current life of what you need to work through, I believe. And you can work through it that way. Everybody's different.
I wasn't able to.
No,
I
and I
got to a
wasn't.
certain stage with what happened in this life, and life was still pretty shit in areas.
Right.
So what do I do now then? Some thought and a bit of meditation and a bit of marijuana, and then I started having these other experiences of like fourth, fifth dimensional reality, and are these past lives, or what's this about, and why does that pain associate itself with that death? Did I do that? Did I kill that person? Fuck me, I did all that shit. I feel better though for admitting it. And then life slowly got better and better and better.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's the deal for everyone, but I kind of suspect it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think people are in denial. I don't have to face any past lives. I'm all fine. I'll just deal with this one.
You're right. People say that.
I mean, this might be your first time around, or you've done 10 lives, right? But
probably not. If you're on the earth, I think you've done more than that. But typically, yes, you could be. Could have a few lives. I don't know. There's lots of. It's all different options.
Yeah, there are other options.
Yeah, and how things come in, how people come in, and how souls come in. So we're learning about that, and that's another topic a lot of people have. Yeah, how you pick your parents and pick your lives, and right, the best way that you can learn and move up in to your next level or wherever you want to go, because it's free will. You have a plan, but whether you stick to the plan, well, that's kind of free will. You can move forward in the plan or ignore the plan, do your own thing for a long time.
Yeah.
Wow, so you were a champion of worlds. a dark destroyer?
I did that, yeah, for a long time, many lifetimes. Yeah.
Because this is like the choice. So I'm finding this very amusing at the moment. Like with this one, because she's like a dark destroyer as well, or has been. And
Okay.
I'm sure I haven't been bad ever.
No.
But it's like it's admitting to oneself or one's destroyed worlds.
Yeah.
He's been involved in that shit, you know. Whether you had a choice or whether you were in terror is irrelevant. You still did those things.
Yeah.
And you are just moving back into the light. And so we've done all these terrible things. We've destroyed worlds. We've performed miracles. We've done the worst things imaginable because light wanted to experience darkness. Because light wanted to know all about darkness and about everything. And it didn't want to admit anything. It wanted to try it all. So we were like, we're game.
Yeah, let's try it all.
So we've done it all.
Yeah.
And then, yeah.
Mhm.
And admitting that gives you freedom.
It is admitting everything, right? Finding every little piece that you've done, and if it's right, holding on to a certain area in your body, in your head, in your heart, wherever, you allow it to come up and feel it, right? A lot of feeling, a lot of sensing, a lot of, like different options for people to work through the stuff. And going to people like ourselves where we can see that and walk someone through. If we're a little bit farther along, then people can, come and look at, oh, that's nice to be. It took me to work with somebody else to help me through my stuff. I couldn't find my way through alone.
Yeah.
I just wasn't able to. I just was dysfunctional. And like, I just can't find, I said, I need to find whoever it is that can help me. It took me a long time, but I did eventually find somebody that could help me.
You
And
too.
that was great.
You've had help or helpers. I've had help.
Yeah.
Sure, I had help. I mean, I've been working with a lot of people. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be us, but it's help.
Find help if you need it, right? If you're watching yeah, certainly.
Yeah.
Could be us, could be others, whoever resonates with you. Find, help to free yourself, because we're talking about freedom, we're talking about releasing, we're talking about getting off the merry-go-round, whatever you want to call it.
I love that picture, Greg. I love that. It's really
Which
nice.
one?
Yeah.
The merry-go-round one?
Yeah, around the merry-go-round is this light just plain, right? So when you get off, you're like, oh my God, this is so beautiful. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I got when you said that. It's really, I like the picture.
Yeah, we're kind of stuck. People are stuck on it. It's like, oh, there's much more to this than this going around.
Yeah, and they're afraid to let go. It's a really good picture. They don't want to let go because they don't know what happens then.
They're saying it's gotta slow down enough so I can get off. Well, sometimes you might need to jump off a little bit, right?
I was going to say it's very safe riding around on that, but getting off might be dangerous.
Yeah, it might be dangerous to jump off.
That's
I don't
okay.
do that. Might get hurt.
Yeah.
This is very beautiful.
Yeah, it's very good. Good conversations we have.
Yeah. So do we have any channeling? Maybe.
No, I think conversation's fascinating.
It is. But I think they're saying they have some language to go along with this if we want.
Yeah.
Sure.
Me.
Yeah.
They're just, not that we have to go there, but I guess
Can I interrupt and ask who's speaking?
Well, I don't. I'm just getting possibly Sanat Kumara, maybe others.
Yeah.
I'm
just curious because I think it's worthwhile asking that.
Yes, I think you're right. But I'm trying to tune in, as it seemed to be, like I said, I can do it, but I don't always know who I'm channeling. So I'm trying to get more information about that, asking about that. And I think maybe I blocked myself from knowing because I didn't want to know. I just, okay, let's just do that.
Yeah, so I think that's curious, and it's potentially related to the blockage.
Yes, I think it is.
I
So
don't,
that's-
I don't, I don't trust myself to unblock. Like I'd rather keep it like that because I don't know what's going to come through.
Yeah.
Right, it might not be safe, so I don't know. I need to keep that up.
It's all going to be blue and red and golden goo. That's all that's going to come through.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah, great. So I have some channeling. If you're good. Ian okeman akandeon ohoma tikando dohom deskan onya tantya chikan wokedian deham bakan yasum wokia ish oede ban ko emakai shoom beketa ishkan onme adan de tom ya niken yakondo ishan ome kanyo ide denyo paganya ishkandebon yano makende bunbya kanshe etom koketem shemon ando ikandopeya danho makande den oke so atan ti an umpe akan ye koshenoma andoma ade kikandohoma dehando eke shemo iando beke ando ishan shi ke bakanya ban ihiman omen aganya.
Yeah, I had several messages about my health, my well-being, my diet, what I should eat, drink, have a good time, be merry, enjoy your life.
Wow.
I should eat fish, have a good time, drink some beer occasionally, have a glass of wine every so often. Have a good life. I know. I went.
That's what you got.
Yeah. Well, I was at a
Good.
restaurant today, and they gave us fish, and that was the option. It was delicious, and I don't mind. A bit of fish is okay. It's just not to
Oh,
judge,
great.
Yeah.
Right, because it seems like things like being human, we get some ideas of what we should be doing, and they can kind of point out, well, it's okay.
Yeah.
Or if there are issues with whatever we're thinking we should do, we don't know.
It goes back to the black and white. So I'm wrong because I'm eating meat. Like I'm this terrible destroyer of worlds. I've done it again. I've struck the universe in that. It's just a portion of meat. I'm having a sandwich. Some things are good for your body and some things are not so great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that key is just flexibility, not being stuck in one way all the time. As I've seen that a lot. I've seen it so much that it impacts people when they travel and just not being able to deal with, oh, I have to have it this way. And you really don't.
No, there's no black and white now in this universe. We're like, we're interdependent and we're moving between things, and trying to be too static is going to kill you one way or another.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, flexibility. Yeah.
And nothing's wrong. Like,
Mm-mm.
none of it. We designed it to experience the dark.
Yeah, I think stubbornness, people that are stubborn and they have to have it their way. I think that's not a good way to be, I don't think, in this reality, fourth dimension reality that we are in.
No, it's not very useful, because there's going to be a time in that timeline of your entire existence where you did that thing.
Mhm.
There's no way you can live in this life and not do something that hasn't been done in another one. So to resist that I didn't do, because we're not in linear time. So you're just resisting yourself.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But people don't know that, right?
Well,
'Cause there's-
listen to the call. Listen.
They will get that. Yeah. if they
We were
listen.
talking today, and on Ta Pinu Hill was at the top. We're doing a little circle and sharing, and someone said, "Oh, tell us about the dimensions."
Mhm.
And I'm getting quite polished at talking about the 5 dimensions. It's not everyone's cup
Mhm.
of tea. Not everyone wants to know, but when people do want to know, I just dip my toe in. Like, time is not linear. Like, you can have all these different
Mhm.
experiences. And then it starts to get simpler to understand that I'm not everything, but I have pretty much experienced everything. So the minute you invalidate something, it's like, oh, fuck.
Mhm.
I've been
Mhm.
that. Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Good. Anybody else? Yeah. Okay.
I've just been crowned.
Mhm.
Golden.
Mhm.
What do you mean
Do you
golden?
need like your staff?
Well,
That's kind of my sense of humor. But you could look like you've got a staff as well.
all right. Well, anyway, yeah, I got a crown there.
Nice. Very good.
Yeah, I was going back to all the yeah, I did this, yeah, I did this, yeah, I did this, and taking responsibility and yeah, acknowledging, and yes, it happened, and yes, it was me, and yes, it wasn't nice, still it was me, and and then I got crowned. So if that's the way to a crown, come on.
I don't know a better way. Taking responsibility
Yeah,
seems to be, that's what people aren't doing. They seem to be getting crowned without taking, it's really back to front again. We've got the laws of the divine universe are this way, and then what we seem to do on planet Earth are the other way.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So these things can come up easily for people, but there are a lot of people who they don't. And I'm wondering what our advice is to people who they don't, because they still have to go through these things.
Yeah.
But maybe to me, the key has always been getting into a good loving space and getting into meditation, getting connected, and then just be there and see what happens. But we talk about past lives and we talk about things that have happened to us, but there's some people that it's just such a mystery to them. It's a puzzle. Like, how well you have that experience, but I don't. I mean, I hear that a lot. What is the advice to these people?
Great question.
But what you said is definitely a good advice to just people like, and what I talked about today with the ladies, or the other day, like this, that's just to basically sit with it, sit with the picture you get, or sit with an idea you have, or whatever, and like focus on your heart and the feelings that come up. And that they can ask questions. And what I would say is like, yeah, or I mean, I'm okay if we're talking about people making a first step, they can do that, of course, on their own, but then they can also get help, like as Greg said before, right? Get help and like
Yes.
talk to someone
Yes.
about it. For example, if people really have a like no access to past life, but they would like to, I would recommend go to someone and do a past life regression, right? Because you're always only being shown what you can handle. You're always only being shown what is important in the moment,
Mhm.
And being in a setting like that, you have someone with you, right? You have the therapist, the hypnotherapist with you, right? Who does the regression with you,
Mhm.
so you are in a protected environment, and yeah. And then I mean, it's always step by step, right? So if you have that first step done, like the rest unfolds, and that's also something that's also good advice, just to trust in this, right? We're being shown what we need to know, and the next steps will unfold. So
Mhm. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Very true. Very true.
Yeah, and I would say just keep going, and whatever path you are on, like don't just give up because you decide, oh, I'm not getting anything. I mean, you might want to do that. It's just like, okay, I don't know what this is, and maybe you give up for a little while, but maybe you come back. You know, it's like anything. It probably will still keep poking at you, or things will still come up, and then you go, oh, okay, maybe I should go back and explore this more.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know. So I don't know. Some people are kind of not. Some people are interested in this stuff, and some people are sort of like, well, it's a little bit woo woo. I don't know. I can't really get my head around that. It's like not.
Mhm.
Give me a straightforward plan. Like how do I get from A to B? And like, well, you don't know.
Mhm.
I want to know. Well,
I,
okay, that's the
Yeah.
problem.
There's
They
no
want
real
to
instruction book. You just have to
know.
be. It's that
You gotta
space.
trust.
Yeah.
People don't like that.
Exactly.
wanna-
It's not, I had that today. How do I do that? And
Yes.
I'm like, I know that question from myself. We're very
Mhm.
similar. You don't do anything, and it's not for the head to wrap itself around. It's nothing to
Mhm.
do. It's sitting down and feeling and being with it.
Yeah.
So that,
An
yeah.
experience. It's getting into that good space, that meditative space, whether by yourself or if you have someone, you go seek help. But that's really the key, being silent, going within, sensing and feeling and just being
Exactly.
with it, no matter what comes up. And maybe nothing comes up, and that's okay.
Yeah. Just being with and being silent. Yeah. That was good. Very good addition.
I seem to have been obsessed with this subject for about 25 years. So I spent a lot of time on my previous lives recently, but the principle is no different from this life.
Mhm.
You have a death, you have a dramatic emotional experience, and that emotion ties itself to that experience. There's a learning in that experience. It's generally a fear, because death is terrifying. So that's just the same. You have the fear, you have the terror, and you have the learning, and they're just inextricably tied together. The only way to get the learning is to face the fear. It's the same as anything in this lifetime, where I've been
Yeah.
traumatized or I've been over emotionally stimulated as a child, for instance, where my terror was so strong I couldn't experience that emotion at the time. And the only way to deal with it is to re-experience the terror, to re-experience the moment, to actually get the learning. There's no difference. So a good therapist is essential. If you don't have a good therapist, get a coach, get a past life regressionist, like the rest of the story, get books, study, research. But I spent 25 years doing this, and I got so good, I was able to do it for myself. So I didn't need a therapist, but I spent 6 years with one of the best ones in the United Kingdom. I wouldn't recommend you look him up, but his name's Emmanuel. And he's an extraordinary man. And I didn't do everything the way he would have laid it out, but almost everything, and I found myself.
Yeah.
And then once I found myself, but get help.
Yeah, I did similar too. I had to find somebody, which wasn't a licensed therapist, but was someone doing this type of work, inner exploration, awakening, open to the ideas of past lives and working through them, and open to the ideas of abductions and working through them. Nothing was off the table, and everything was open to explore.
Yeah.
And to move through, and to ultimately.
And you saw him for a long time, right?
Yeah, 7 years. So you said 6 years, I spent 7. Yeah. However long it
Takes a
takes.
long time.
I still get
Yeah, I
visit.
thought. Yeah, I thought it might take like, oh, this might take like a year or something, a couple of months.
And he would never tell you. He said, "Oh yeah, it'll be done soon."
Yeah, it's working itself out. 7 years later.
It's
Yeah.
funny, Sharon.
That's good. Yeah. We'll be done soon.
Be done soon.
It's good.
Just keep coming. Just keep going. That was the message. Just keep going.
Yeah.
It'll be done. It'll be done when it's done.
Yeah.
That's why I tell people,
Exactly. Yeah.
you don't know when it's done. I would
Yeah.
ask, when is this gonna be done? We don't know. It's done when it's done. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Exactly.
Get on board with that.
Yeah.
May take time. Give yourself time. So you got to make time in your life for this stuff. Because people say, I'm too busy. I can't do any of this stuff. I don't have any time for that. Okay.
Yeah. But then
See you
Be
next
right
life.
back.
bless you and yeah.
Yeah.
Do it
Yeah.
again. So I did get told by my therapist that it would take some time. He didn't say how long. He said there'd be a hiatus. So I'd go through a period of deconstruction. The soul would emerge. And then there's a hiatus when the soul emerges because you don't know what the fuck to do anymore. Because what's your soul and what's going on here? And my intuition played a role. Like that was really my communication mechanism, was to trust my intuition.
Mm-hmm.
And then that led to my soul taking over the life. And then that led to many other scenarios and great events and led me here with Alenka. But I don't know what to tell you, but there's a long period and there is a deconstruction. And there's oftentimes a dropping off of the ego, and there's destruction of things, or you feel like things are coming to a terrible ending. You may feel suicidal. You may not want to live anymore. There's a not uncommon emotions. So I don't want to walk away from the fact that mental health is a problem in the world, but oftentimes we reassign the incorrect labels to what people are going through. You know, terror of death, like I've seen all this before, I don't want to be here again. And these are signals rather than a mental health issue.
Yes. Yeah. Right. So a good therapist will not take on there's a lot of therapists just take on oh, this is the way it is. Like, okay, we're going to give you this pill and just take that and you'll be fine or whatever. And yeah, there's good therapists out there. And that's why I say you got to find them, because I went to a bunch of different ones and I was like, these aren't going to help me. None of these are going to help me until I find the right person. Yeah. And it took me a while.
You gotta find the right person. Yeah, definitely. You gotta feel good there. And yeah. Yeah. It's really, yeah, and that can take time. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I searched, like there was 3 years waiting for a land. It's like, where's my man? You know, like I know there's a guru, there's someone, but there's just no one until there was.
And I searched, and then I actually went to this guy I was talking about, and then I was like, oh, he's not the one, and I went to somebody else, and then that didn't work out. So then I go, well, like maybe he is the one. I don't know. And I had a crisis, and then he became, okay, yeah, I just need this to move forward. I need somebody to help me.
Yeah.
I was in a crisis mode. Yeah, like I don't know what's going on. I'm falling apart here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So someone to talk to, someone to help you through that. Certainly it's big in our world. We need that. And I think we want to offer that. I mean, just to talk. It's okay. We're just offering our offerings, whatever we do. And we certainly want to be in more divine energy. We wouldn't consider ourselves like therapists because it's like a term that you can't really use, but we're divine, unfolding
beings
connecting to the divine, helping you connect.
Yeah.
Move through things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
I do have some words from Astraea.
So Sharon left.
She got a phone call. That's why I muted her, because she was picking up the phone.
Got it. So we can go ahead and just go ahead.
Yeah, she's good to talk, and we'll just record, and yeah.
Yeah. Okay, perfect.
I'll just go into that.
Oh.
Okten Maikole. So I open my heart, Igro Maikali, and I allow into my heart the greatest light there is. Ego Maikole. So allow my ego to subside. Inglo Maikole. And I allow my ego to slide as if to the floor. Hongron me kalai, higalai, kiminako. And I allow my life stream to come out of my heart. Egolai, manai, kolai, chemo ke. So I keep my ego in a prism of light. Egolai ki, komai loke, lokei. I love you, O my ego, though you may be trapped. Ego like kilon igo kinlomai, and I trust you'll be kept safe in my prism of light. Ego like ki, komo maiko lai, higo lai, maklo tilo kai ki. So I lock you in that prison of light. Eklo maiko lai, hilo mai kilo, chemo high, chemo low. I keep you high, the prism of light. I keep you low, the prism of light. Come on, maklo tylo ki. I keep you within my being. Hongron maiko lai, kimina lai, kimina kolai ki. To keep you happy, to keep you content. Ego lai maklo tylo ki. I keep you here for all of eternity. Ego lai maklo tylo ki. To love you bit by bit until I destroy every bit of you. Enklai maklatai. When it is my choice, when it is your time. Higro maklatai. As all things go, pop. Hankolai, Hankolai Maikoli, with love, with light. Egolai, Elon Maklatai, so the key I keep tied to my neck. Higromai Kanlai key, and I can open you if I wish. Higro Manklatai la key, and I keep the key safe and I love it deeply. Elon Maklatai key, but I choose to open or I choose to close the prism. Hankro Maikalai, Maklatai lakai, Honlan Kilonakal. Kilon Hoblon Tantacle Tanta Kolai key. So I give to Christ my key. Taklan Maklan Tananake, to let him choose. Talanko Lakon Lai Ankla Tankla Tomanake. When to open, when to close. Tamanko Tamankolai. I give my life, my ego's wealth to the Christ. Tramankalai Tramankalo. Tramankakan Homankelo. So my life stream is yours. The Christ would say, it is I that die for you. Ramako Kamako Kamanake. As if my life stream was within yours. Himankolai, Himankolo. We are all together in this world. Himakratai, Tamankale. Tamankalai Kiki Onstra Griminkalo. So I allow my life stream to merge with the Christ's, with Astraeas, with Sanat Kumaras, with Sanandas, and with Dwals. And to all the beings of light who would continue their dance with mine. Igron mai Maclon Tyler Cal. Eglon Uglon Tai. I tie my life stream to yours. Engron Iklon Tyler Kai. Ugla Kan Kalo. To allow my life stream to mix and to match yours, your light and your beams of desire for what you wish in this world. Quankron inclamaklatau, hubla clanate, maclon tyler cow, hublon mikla tyler key, onstra hingakau. So the Christ shall keep my key for all of eternity. Higron tau monkla takla can, hubramanko lay. And I allow him to turn the key at will. Quackron, Tiklon, Kylaman, Hula Plantagan. So I plant my feet firmly on this earth. Enkron Tiklakan Tako, with no more ego than I'm allowed to carry. Hingron Taklakal, Hubla Plantake. So the divine plan would allow us all an ego. Engron Tiklaman, when we need. Hublon Plaktakan, when we need that, it is essential, it will be there, the Christ says. Higron Tiklakal, Hublamaklatai, Timblablon, Blacklaplon, Clue Lamanake. So the clue is in the question. There is no more to do today. We simply let the light dance within. Ugron Tiklamanko lay, Heblamlaklatai, Ugrakron Taklaman Inkla Maklako. There's no need to answer the question. Only the ego would need the answer. Ubramaklatai, Timlamaklako, Ingla Oklatan Lako, Tantla Haklatan. So I thank you all, says the Christ, says Astraea, say the beings of light who dance tonight. Ingra Maklatai, Timla Maklako, Himla Oklatan, Tankla Manklakai. So I thank you all, and in leaving I give you gifts of love. Imblon Tulamanko lay, as if the Christ lay within your body. Ingro Miklatai, allow that being, that light to permeate yours, your body. Ingran Kolamai Kilon, Ingran Miklatai Loke. So I love you and I leave you. Good night.
Okay. Okay.
That's fucking good. What's going on?
I'm so happy. It's like taking a lifetime. That conversation tonight, that was special. It was like all orchestrated by the divine, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know if you caught that process, Sharon.
What's that?
Let's see.
What just happened?
Oh,
Did you were you able to listen a bit?
she was on a
The
call.
last part I got back. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
I'll
it's
listen to it though.
Yeah, it's worth listening to.
Mhm.
Well, I sort of dozed off
Yeah.
because I'm so tired.
Mm,
Aw,
But
yeah.
but yeah, and I do have to go.
yeah. Well, thank you.
But that was beautiful. You are beautiful, guy.
Mm, you guys are amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll see you tomorrow.
Sure.
What about for you, Greg?
Yeah, I think I'm good for tomorrow. Yeah, this is my open day, more open. So yeah, I'm good. I can make that work. It's no problem tomorrow. Yeah.
I'll put this online. I'll share it with Greg, Sharon. I'll share it with Greg or share it with you.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah,
Either of us,
Okay.
yeah, that's
All right,
fine.
great. I didn't know the easiest way for you to see it.
Yeah. Either or, and I do have
I
one
can
that
share
I
it with me.
yeah, I can share with you. I have one I recorded. I wanted to send back to you. That was maybe a couple days ago. I can't remember. That I
Yeah, I don't know
that's
if I
right.
downloaded that. Yeah, because I got the email, but I couldn't see what was in the email.
Ah, okay, got it. So I can look at that, I guess, and
Yeah.
try to figure out how to send that to you.
Yeah, please.
Was that the one when David wasn't with us?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good one. We had good conversation on that one too.
I heard.
Yeah, it was good.
I'm just gonna
Yeah.
stop it. Stop.
Yeah, stop it.